Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Energy the steps the ministry is taking to get aquatic weeds removed from the lower Volta Basin, including all tributaries of the river within the South Tong and Dangbe East districts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, currently, VRA has put in place various measures to address the aquatic weed infestation challenges from immediate, short to medium, and long-term approaches. This strategic approach is to ensure that the impact on the riverine communities is immediately contained, while medium to long-term sustainable management program is put in place to ensure both environmental and financial sustainability. The immediate term plan, community-directed shoreline and immediate offshore aquatic weed removal. This activity involves mobilization of the riverine communities to manually remove aquatic weeds along the shoreline and the immediate offshore. VRA has identified 50 communities in the lower Volta area to be provided with tools and mobilized to undertake the exercise by close of the year. The purpose of this initiative is to enhance access to extraction of water that is clogged by the aquatic weeds by the inhabitants for domestic use, remove all weeds obstructing boat landing sites, and as well as destroy the habitats of the Hysia intermediate host, that's the snails population. Opening of the creeks using weed harvesters. The majority tributary of the Volta River in the South Tong and Dangbe East District, which is heavily infested with weeds, is the River Angor. The VRA will deploy its weed harvester, which is currently engaged in weed harvestation at Mafi Deveme in the North Tong District, to the Angor by close of September 2021. It is expected that the Angor and other critically weed-infested tributaries of the Volta will be opened up by the close of the year. The short-term measure, using drone technology services. The VRA intends deploying drone technology services to enhance routine environmental surveys, mapping, monitoring, and protection activities mainly along the Volta Lake. One of the key activities under the drone technology services is to determine aquatic weeds coverage and all types of invasive aquatic weeds within the Volta Lake and its tributaries, the head pond, as well as the lower Volta area, and advise on changes in coverage. The procurement process has been completed. The contract will be signed by end of July 2021, which is since gone, for the services to commence. Contract duration is 3 years. The data and information obtained are to be shared with various stakeholder agencies to inform the level and types of response to the aquatic weed menace. The long-term plan is a public-private partnership project. The VRA introduced the Lower Volta Dredging and Aquatic Weed Harvesting Project in 2014 as a new management strategy to help resolve resource challenges which over the years have reinforced the need for the involvement of other stakeholders in the aquatic weed management activities undertaken solely by the VRA within the Lower Volta area. The project, which is to be implemented under a public-private partnership, has the following objectives. A, to seek competent private sector companies to partner VRA in the aquatic weeds management activities within the Lower Volta area, from Adan to Akuse, hitherto undertaken solely by VRA. B, introduce commercial value into the aquatic weeds control management program with the development of the harvested aquatic weeds into organic compost. And 3, ensure continuous environmental sustainability and maintain a strong community interest in the program. Under the PPP arrangement, suitable private sector companies with the requisite equipment and machinery, as well as expertise and financial capability interested in weed harvesting, have been sourced through an international competitive selection process and given long-term concession for an initial period of 10 years. The procurement processes have been completed with the selection of Lower Volta Dredging Contractors Limited, that is LVDC, for aquatic weed harvesting services from the Kpong Head Pond down to the estuary at Adan. The project was expected to commence in 2020, but was hindered by the COVID-19 global pandemic. VRA expects that initiation phase will be completed to enable the project to commence by close of 2021, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the Minister's answer, and under where he called opening of the crates using weed harvester as the heading, you indicated the use of the harvester to start the harvesting of weeds around the Angor tributary. Will the Minister assure us that the harvesting will include not only slashing, but removal with the roots, and then disposing same appropriately in such a way that they don't end up coming back into the river to, as it were, grow and create more menace? Will the Minister assure us? If so, at least let us have some assurance there.
The Honourable Member is really asking for far too much than I can really cope with. This is very technical stuff. So I would respectfully ask, Mr. Speaker, if you direct that
You would
we
direct.
meet and then see the technical people at VRA to give you the assurance. I cannot, I'm afraid, give you this assurance. I don't really understand the technical nature of the work to be done.
Speaker, the answer under short to medium-term plans, there is a plan to introduce drones to assess the entire scope of work, or maybe the extent of how the weeds had spread, and to determine which agencies and all that, a sort of response. But when you look at the long-term plan, you have already started per the answer, starting from somewhere 2014, 2015, from the previous government to now, the process to even procure a company to start the process of harvesting and dredging. What went into the determination of the long-term plan when you are now going to look for, you are now going to procure services for the data to be collected, information obtained, so that you can be able to share all these to be able to undertake the sort of work? Because I don't really get it. Will the Minister throw some light on that?
Mr. Speaker, once again, I'll crave your indulgence to permit me to go back and really get the appropriate answer through the question that the Honourable Member is seeking answers to. I really cannot answer this technical question. And I believe that the best way to see our way clear is to meet with the technical people and then have a tete-a-tete with them.
Mr. Speaker, on the long-term plan of the ministry on the issue, I would say stretching from Akuse down to Adan, the estuary, is quite a colossal and a big job for just a company to undertake. I don't know the capacity of Lower Water Dredging Contractors Limited, but this matter had come up severally for discussions with the VRA and all that. They indicated dividing the stretch into two and giving them to two separate companies or entities to undertake. Do we take it that that is no longer the case per the answer, that one entity is supposed to do the entire stretch? So if that is it, so we can be able to understand what then is the capacity, because you say the procurement had ended, the capacity of this entity to be
Stated, the company was chosen as a result of international competitive bidding. So I like to think that they have the necessary capacity to take on the job at hand. If the Honourable Member has any reason to doubt, then that's a different question altogether. But I do believe that company has the necessary competency to take on the job at hand. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.